Okay, today is session number 2 where we are going to continue remaining phase of activities in development model. Till last session we covered what are the major activities can be implemented in requirement analysis and design phase. The next phase is implementation phase, which is very important, especially in development projects. Why implementation is required? Because implementation means here the activities should be there are specific expertise developers who will develop the application, who will actually code the application with help of technology. Suppose you might have there is a technology which customer have, or there is a technology is using Java. It might be a mainframes, it might be a .NET. According to specified technology, the developers will code the application by using software architecture layout. So in implementation phase, the outcome is actual application will be developed. So in prior to these phases like requirements and design phase, we will just see the application in papers and documents. But in implementation phase, after completion of implementation phase, there is an application will be developed. After completion of implementation phase, the next phase is, which is very important, especially for testing point of view, because this phase we can call it as testing phase, where whatever developed application will be tested here. Here in this process, we are validating the product according to specified requirements which are there in requirements phase, and we are checking that whether the requirement is as expected or as developed, the requirement is developed as expected or not. That validation will be done in testing phase. After completion of testing phase, the next phase should be installation or setting up the environment. So like your developer will have developed the application. So in installation phase, we are going to hand over the application to the customer, or we will set up the environment to the customer to use it, and etc etc. But whenever you're working on testing, installation, or this particular phase, infrastructure team will mostly they will handle the activities like what infrastructure is read, how we have to define all those specifications. And once installation has been done, application will be live to the customer, and then we will have one more set of activities, that is support. We'll have one more set of activities, that is support. Generally, we can call it as production support or post production support, etc etc. Words can be used. So in this support phase, what activities can be performed here is whatever application is on live, if at all any issue is getting like in usage, or some customer needed some changes, some extra specification functionalities to be added or verified, for all these specific activities, there should be a support will be there. We will give you to the project. So this support activities will be also part of the project development. And when any project which you are working on, so there are majorly three phases. One is development, testing, and support. So development is one activity where development going on, testing is generally validations, support will be kind of support activities to the project. This would be a overall software development life cycle. So any project whenever you are working on, directly or indirectly, you might have to perform all these set of activities. Directly or indirectly, you might have to perform all these set of activities. Based upon project requirements, based upon project requirements, deliverables, and criticality, based out of project requirements, deliverables, and criticality, and according to customer specification, there are n number of models have been developed. N number of models are available. Among them, major models, major used are like, first one is waterfall model, V-shape model, waterfall model, V-shape model, rapid application model, prototype model, incremental, spiral model, and last but not least, which would be very, very important, agile methodologies. Okay, so based upon a customer requirement and project deliverables and specifications, each there are n number of SDLC models are there. Okay, so how these models will going to work and what would be the approach of development, we'll see them now. Guys, do you have any idea about these models earlier? Have you ever heard about them?
No, not
Okay, so first and foremost model, or which is the old traditional model, which is waterfall model. Waterfall model is one of the major development model which can be used rapidly or which can be used regularly in industry variations. So what is this waterfall model? The name itself is specifying that the development of activities will be done in flow of water. So how water flow will be there in any hill stations? Always it should be from high end to low end. And if you wanted to stop the water, does it possible? Until unless there should be a specific mechanism, you can't stop the flow, and always it should be from high end to low end. So in the same way, waterfall or model will work on top down approach. What is the approach it will follow? Top down approach. Top down approach means the phase of activities will be start from the initial stage, and it will be always continuous flow or sequential flow. What kind of a flow it is? Sequential flow. Okay, so whatever development activities you have seen so far, the same activities, the same set of phases will be available in waterfall model, but the approach is only slightly changed. What is the approach we can follow in waterfall model? In waterfall model, there are specific phases like requirements, design, implementation, testing, support, and installation and support. So whenever you do these activities in this model, first requirements can be analyzed, and then based on a specified provided knowledge, we'll try to analyze it. We try to get to know functional behavior and performance, and we'll get to idea that what are the interfaces are available in the model. And then once requirements have been finalized, then this particular phase will be freezed. Once requirements have been finalized, this particular phase can be freezed. After freezing this requirement phase, then only you are going to start design. Suppose you planned 1 month for a requirement analysis. Okay, you just plan 30 days, but still after 25 days also still you realize that there are a few more days are required. Okay, because requirement analysis is not completed due to some other issues. Okay, still if you planned a set of requirements, even your time get elapsed or even your time get is going to close, until unless you won't finalize all the set of requirements in the project, until unless you won't finalize all the set of requirements in the project, you want to close the activity, you won't freeze the activity. But once it has been freezed, once it has been freezed, then there is no change in requirement at all. Once a requirement phase has been freezed, there is no changing or modification to the
specified requirements. The same approach will be followed for design phase and implementation and testing and other phases as well. So how the waterfall model will work, it would be a sequential model. There are no change of requirements can be analyzed, but if at all you have specified a time, even though time elapsed, if requirements are not get freezed, you won't close the activity at all, etc, etc. Okay, so the simple approach here is, for in requirements phase we will try to analyze the needed information, functional behavior and performance of the application, etc, etc.
Correct.
So whenever you're working on any particular specific activities in waterfall model, the approach here is first requirement analysis, design, implementation and testing, but the development approach should be always, until unless you won't complete the activities, you will never move to the next phase. And even if once a particular phase has been freezed, there is no change of requirements. Let's see what are the major drawbacks and advantages with this particular model. As I told you, the major deficiencies of waterfall model is all requirements must be known upfront. So if you wanted to perform these set of activities, all requirement must be known before the project going to start itself. Why? Because once you started, there is you won't encourage to add the requirements in the phase. Okay, so that is the reason requirements must be shown in the early stages of the project before going to start itself. Why it is a disadvantage? Because there are n number of situations you might requirements cannot be finalized. Okay, and this particular phase will always inhibits the flexibility. Inhibits the flexibility means most customers will like to most customers will likely they will try to change the project requirement. They will expect the flexibility to adapt the new changes in the project. As we are maintaining as development, or waterfall model will act as a frozen model, so which won't give the much advantage, much flexibility to the customer to change the requirements. And there are n number of situations where we will provide you false impression to the customer, especially in progress of the project. How it would be like, suppose you are in a assumption that you are planning some set of activities and all, and most of the times customer may not be involved in your development activities. We won't show them anything to the customer. Okay, in these specifications there might be an assumption that customer may assume false impression of the progress, and there are no iteration of the phases. So we are not encouraging, we are not allowing to iterating the phases if required, iterating the activity if required. Okay, so that will reflecting like there is no problem solving nature. There is no problem solving nature for the development. And in waterfall model, as we are following an approach called integration. So this integration approach, when we are suppose we are developing at the initial stages of individual units, and later on when you are trying to integrate. So when you are trying to integrate, it might be a big bang, because at the initial stages how the development has been done, you might remember, you might not. But when you see it while integrating, you might not be able to integrate all of them accurate focus. So there might be a big bang happens, there might be a chance of big bang. Okay, and last but not least, very little opportunity to the customer to to have a preview of the designed system or designing system. Okay, so we are not giving much hands-on to the customer to view the application when development is going on. These are the major deficiencies in waterfall model. Any questions? Any questions, guys?
No.
Okay. Now, what are the major advantages with waterfall model? As I told you initially, waterfall model will give you, it is very easy to understand because you have feasible amount of time to analyze the requirements, understand the project, and it will always provides you structured, it will provide you a proper structure of development. Yeah, major advantage with waterfall model here is, as I told you initially, each and every phase will, as we have much feasible time, each and every phase can be analyzed very clearly, and milestones will be well understood. What is this milestones? Like there should be a pickup point to the customer. He will specify some set of milestones, and we will show the application to the customer in those kind of specified milestones. So this can be easily understood, and there are requirements stability, means we are stabilizing the requirements, and customer will have good management for the project. There is good management control for the customer, and always priority will be given to the quality than cost or schedule. These are the major advantage with waterfall model. So now tell me what kind of a projects can be well suited for this waterfall model. It's very simple to say, uh, waterfall model kind of a projects will be well suited to manufacturing industries, and wherever any projects where you have requirements are well known, and there is no new version of an existing product, like there is a change or enhancement in existing application, and where we are posting an existing product to a new platform. In these kind of situations, waterfall model is the best model to go ahead. Any questions on waterfall model, guys? That's all about pretty straightforward sequential waterfall model. Clear?
Yeah, you can carry on.
Excellent. Now, next model is, there is a variant to the waterfall model, which I can call it as V-shaped SDLC model. What is that? V-shaped SDLC model. V-shaped model SDLC model is another variant to waterfall model. Okay, so if you could see the diagram, you will understood how the development will go on. So it would be V-shaped model is also sequential model only, but the major difference when you compare to waterfall model here is, here testing activities can be elaborated like anything. Like if suppose you have a 6 phases of development, there should be equal number of phases of testing levels you have. Okay, like if you could see the diagram, the left hand side is showing as completely development of activities, and whereas right hand side you can see all the testing activities in the project. Left hand side you can able to view all development activities, and right hand side equal number of testing activities. But again, this model will also work on sequential process, like first requirements planning, requirement analysis, high level design, detail level design, coding, and then once coding has been done, all development activities will be completed. After that, your detailed level design will be tested in terms of unit level, and your architecture level design will be verified in terms of integration testing, and your product requirements and specification analysis can be validated by performing system and acceptance testing, and your requirements, planned requirements, can be verified or validated when your application is on production. Okay, but that means by seeing the arrow, do not assume that it should be a parallel activities. It's not parallel activities, so it is also sequential process, but whatever number of phases you have, the same number of testing activities will be there in V-shaped model. So here the model will specifies you indirectly that there are equal number of testing activities will be there for each and every development as well. Any questions here?
No.
Okay, excellent to hear. But what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages with this particular model? So the major advantages, we can say, major verifications and validations will be done at each and every level, and each deliverable must be testable. So if you do one activity, definitely that activity will be tested. We won't skip any particular requirement, any particular deliverable without validating here. And again, as you seen the same method approach we have followed as in waterfall model, so it would be a more advantage to for project managers to track the progress of the project, and it's very easy to use it because there are no much complexities in the model at all. Coming to the weaknesses in this model, the major weaknesses are like it does not handle any concurrent events like iteration of events, and there is no iterations of the phases, and we do not does not easily handle dynamic changes of a requirements like whenever requirement changes, and does not contain any risk analysis activities. How can we define a risk? If you have a planned a set of activities, if you planned a set of activities, if you are not able to perform the activities at particular stage level, what would be the risk and what would be the risk mitigation steps? That has to be defined in that is not defined in V-shaped model. But if you define those risk analysis in any particular project, it is very easy to handle the mitigations. If you are getting the risk, immediately if you're getting the issue, immediately there is a risk mitigation step which we can analyze it very properly. What kind of a projects will be well suited for V-shaped model? In general, wherever you have hospital patient control applications, wherever you require 100% accuracy, okay, like oil and gas project, nuclear projects, all these major technology projects, or where would be a solution to a technology projects, will be well suited for V-shaped model, as we are providing lot of validations and verifications towards the development of the project. This is all about V-shaped model in software development lifecycle. Any questions on first two models, guys?
No.
Okay. The next model in SDLC is prototyping SDLC model. What is that? Prototyping SDLC model. What is this prototyping SDLC model, or how we can define it as a specific model, and what activities can be performed here? Prototyping model, SDLC model, is another major approach to develop the projects. So here, whenever a particular development is going to start, or SDLC is going to start, customer may request, or we have to provide a sample build of the actual application. Sample build of the actual application. Sample build means partial development of the application, and then we will share with the customer with an explanation of what exactly the sample is all about, how exactly it can be developed and what exactly the requirement. And then once customer has reviewed the application, okay, once customer has reviewed this particular sample, and then he will provide you the feedback based upon current corrective feedback. The developers will refine the prototype, and when the end user has been and the customer is satisfied, the refined prototype will be implemented as a actual application to the customer. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so prototype model, the approach here is the development will go on. First sample build of the application will be developed, and later point of time it will be evaluated by end users, and based on provided corrective feedback, the remaining application will be developed. And once a user is satisfied, the code is brought to be the standardized of the application will be developed. Okay, that's how structured evolutionary prototype model will work on. So whenever you are working on structured evolutionary prototype model, always you have to provide the prototype to the customer, and then only actual application will be developed. Okay, so what would be the advantages and
So
disadvantages? Sorry, go ahead,
there
please.
is no requirement collecting in this type of model,
No, whatever phases you
even before
have
the.
seen in waterfall model, the same will be applicable to here as well. But before going
Okay.
to do the activities, you might have to show the prototypes, okay, as per initial
Sure.
activities. Then only the project going to be started here. So whatever prototyping
Sure.
activities you are doing, these are all prior to the actual development of the project.
Okay.
Here prototype means the prototype of testing phase, prototype of implementation phase, everything, or altogether.
No, majorly for the development phase, coding phase. So here the
Okay.
prototype can be prepared before going to start requirement analysis itself. Once it is started, each and every phase we won't provide you any prototype. If at all customer is required, how we are going to proceed and what approach we are following, we will just give a demo to the customer, presentations to the customer.
Okay.
But actual definition of a prototype is sample functionality.
Okay.
Okay. So what are the major advantages and disadvantages with this particular model? The major advantages with prototype model is here customer satisfaction is very high, and customer can see the system requirements whenever we gather it. Okay, and here there is a more accuracy on the product, and there are no unexpected requirements, or any unexpected requirements can be accommodated very easily. And here it will provide you customer satisfaction, and we will give you the awareness what we are going to develop in the project. Everything will be very clearly specified in prototype model whenever you're going to work on. Now what are the disadvantages with a prototype model? Any idea? Any guess?
Mm. Mm.
There are huge set of disadvantages with prototype model. Let me explain you with a very good example. Guys, do you like sweets?
I love
Okay.
sleep.
See, she loves sweets a lot. Okay, let's take a very good practical example. Okay, suppose you planned a function in your home. There is a function is there on a specified date. Okay, you are planning all the activities. So among them, you planned for 100 kg sweets for order. Okay, 100 kg of the sweets you are going to plan for the function. Okay, and you plan for your favorite sweet. You plan for a favorite sweets like your kalakanda, whatever you you much liked, and you went to a very huge reputed shop. There is a huge reputation is there, and everybody saying that this particular shop will give you a they will prepare you well deserved sweets or yummy sweets. Okay, you went to a sweet shop. What would be the first step you will do?
Taste it.
Definitely. If person like me, I won't taste it because I don't love the sweets at all, but the sweet lovers, first of all, they wanted to taste at least one sample. Okay, so you are planning a sweet, and you have just there, you have asked for, oh my god. So you went to a shop and you ordered, you are going to taste a sweet, you have requested for a sample in that particular shop. Okay, unfortunately the sample which you are going to taste or which has been tasted, it has been expired. The sweet which you have tasted, it is actually expired. So why this mistake, or why it has been expired? Because that even didn't know the retailer who is actually providing the sweets. He took the sweet from the expired box. Okay, so even though
Okay.
all the sweets are very good, but you tasted the expired sweet. What is your next step? Will you buy the sweets?
Won't
Will you give
order.
will you give the
No,
order? Even if
no.
shopkeeper tells you that he will try to convince 100 times, you will never buy the sweets at all, and you will just do a complaint if possible. That is one step. And second step, you might do, you at least you will pass this information to 100 people not to buy the sweets from the shop. Nowadays people have been well versed with the social networks. Definitely they'll just take a screenshot and they'll put you into they will just entirely spoil the entire fame of that particular shop. Okay, so is whose mistake is actually this one? Is it the shop owner or CEO's mistake? It is just a mistake of a retailer. Okay, so the same thing can be happens in especially development projects as well. If customer have specified one requirement to you, but the developer, whoever actually developed the prototype, he didn't understand the requirement at all, or he just misconceptionally identified the requirements. Okay, in those kind of a situations, there might be a chance of dropping the projects from the vendor itself. Customer may drop the project if he didn't like the demo at all, or if the require demo is in different approach which he exactly what he's expected, which is not exactly what he's expected. In those kind of a drawbacks are there. See, what's simple as sweet shop 100 kg sweets is not a matter, one order is not a matter. But when you say software processes, if one project costs you at least 10 crores or 1500 crores or 500 crores 100 crores kind of a projects will be there. In those kind of situations, it's very difficult to manage and handle the activities. These kind of
Mm.
a drawbacks may there in your prototype model. So to handle these kind of a situations, whenever you work on prototype model, okay, there might be n number of levels of validations will be there. There might be n number of levels of validations will be there. So that is a reason prototype development would be a somehow likely it is a different approach when you are going for development.